The Bitcoin is dumping exactly based on our prediction. So is this the bottom or where it's going to stop? You will find out in this video. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Samo from My Crypto Paradise. So in the past 24 hours, 225,000 traders have been liquidated, which is absolutely crazy because Bitcoin is just following our previous prediction that I have shared with you 2 days ago, and in the previous video 4 days ago I've also shared with you this Bitcoin and gold correlation, and I told you, Paradisers, take a look at gold. Bitcoin is perfectly following its price action for the past few months, and right now we are at the same level from where the gold start its correction, and as you can see it's already happening, right? So I've been telling you right here, this is a very tough resistance. This is the same resistance from where the gold started its correction, and voila, as you can see we are already down from the local top by around 8%. I will be in this video talking about the targets, also about the possibility that we can go down as much as to $44,000, and I will tell you exactly why. First of all, let's keep in mind the gold and Bitcoin correlation was just one of the indications with Paradise Family VIPs we have used for understanding, alright, here at this level we need to be very careful. The other one was right here when I have shared with you in the previous videos the probability, high probability of this ascending triangle to get broken to the upside. I told you, look, we are breaking out. The target of this breakout is at around $100,000. How did I calculate it? Very easily. I showed you in the previous videos how to professional trade the ascending triangle breakouts, and how to understand where the breakout will finish is by taking the depth of the triangle and put it to the breakout point. So this was also a huge resistance understood from a 4-hour time frame, which is a medium time frame for us. And that wasn't all. Also, I have been sharing with you this 1.272 Fibonacci key supply zone, and we have been also with the Paradise team describing to you in our free Telegram channel that this is the biggest probability right now that we will see a rejection from this price. And also, last but not least, our ultra high time frame resistance of 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. This was also the zone of our cycle end of this Elliott wave motive move, where this final wave was the E wave, right? A, B, C, D, E. So loads of confluences, ladies and gentlemen, and that is also the reason why we have been very carefully observing the money flow, where the smart money are flowing from RSD to Bitcoin dominance to total USDT dominance, Ethereum dominance, and the same way we have predicted the bottom right here and accumulated loads of altcoins by taking a look at the lower time frames, not weekly but like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, and really watching the close price action of the week out where the big amount of money are flowing. We have been also able, thanks to that, to sell our swing trading positions with Paradise Family VIPs at the tops, right? So we have been already starting to take profits 3 days ago on 23rd of November. As you can see, 10% on spot, 20% profit on Polygon, EOS, 20%, everything on spot exchange, right? Because we are playing it safe in Paradise Family VIP original membership. We are trading with big clients, loads of money, so we need to play it safe, and Paradise Family VIPs love it the way, because we have only smart Paradise Family VIPs. They understand the proper professional trading is not to get rich in 1 week from nothing, right? It is about managing your portfolio strategically in order to have this nice consistent growth and insurance that we can remain long-term profitable. So then we started to get a little bit more aggressive, right? And also started to back up our rest of the trading positions, because also with scalp traders we already started to enter a small Bitcoin short place where we also just hit a first take profit target. So we are just playing it really safe based on what the whales are doing. That's one of the best indications anyway for us to be able to make consistently the right strategic highest probability decisions in our trading. So right now the question is, how low can Bitcoin go? For that we can also take a look at our Bitcoin CME futures, and you remember from this video which I've shared with you you, it was around 4 days ago, I told you once we cross this orange line, this moving average trend line right here, and we reclaim it by crossing below and retesting it and then continue lower, there is gonna be a very high probability that we will fill this gap at $77,000. And I told you we will be very careful. Ladies and gentlemen, I told you with Paradise Family VIPs, we will be starting to get very careful. And that's exactly what we are doing, right? But is the alt season finished? I will be talking about that as well, because it's not. But take a look at this, absolutely beautiful. As I have predicted in the previous video, and I told you, cross below, retest, here we are getting very careful. And there is a high probability right now that we will continue lower, and there is a high probability right now that we will start pushing lower to close this CME futures gap, and it's going to be closed once we reach $77,000. It needs to be fully closed, okay? So yeah, it works like a magnet. So we count with that probability that is right now increased because we have reclaimed this moving average trend line, right? So just we are playing with probabilities, ladies and gentlemen. It's like a chess, like a professional chess. You need to analyze the situation, plan your moves ahead as we have been planning, right? What's gonna happen here, we will react based on it. So you need to plan ahead and then execute your strategies. So right now the strategy is that we have covered most of our trades, swing trades and also day trades. Then we move stop loss to break even for the ones we have not decided to close yet. And right now we are just playing it strategically safe. We might even start opening some short positions after we get a little bit more confirmations, but only on Bitcoin, not on altcoins, and I will explain to you why. But first of all, let's understand that this $77,000 is going to work as a support once it's going to be hit, okay? There is a very low probability that we will right away continue lower even after it's gonna be filled without any retracement higher first, without some relief rally on Bitcoin, okay? Also, the $77,000 is important because you remember from our high time frame analysis, this $77,000 previously worked like a key resistance zone, and right now it's gonna work as a key demand zone, okay? Before it was a supply, right now it will work as a demand zone. From here also we have predicted the movement towards $93,000. The $93,000, you know how hard to crack it was, right? This was also the ascending triangle. This was the ascending triangle right here, and it took us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go above it, all right? So right now it will be acting as a support. So we need to turn it into a green color to understand, okay, this is acting as a support right now. We also have this moving average on high time frame, which will be providing us with a support as well. As you can see, it is very nicely confluencing with this support zone right here. So we can be consolidating here for a while. We can even have a retracement a little bit higher as long as the 93k is holding and the moving average 20 is holding as well, okay? That is why it's very important that you monitor the market as we do with Paradise Team 24/7, and you can really catch the movements early with a great advance just by understanding what's going on with the price action on a lower time frame. But firstly, in around 8 hours we are closing a daily candle, okay? If this daily candle will close below $93,000, that's gonna be already a big warning sign, another one, okay, for us that, all right, there is a higher probability right now that if we continue to push a little bit lower, this moving average trend line may not hold, okay, and we really go down towards $77,000. It will just increase the odds, right? So some trading strategy from a professional trading perspective is that if somebody would be playing aggressive short side, all right, firstly you create some risk management block that you are willing to lose like 20R by shorting right here. You place a very nice tight stop loss just above this resistance, right? And you create some short positions. Then right here, you again observe the price action. Once you get the more confirmations, for example, 93 level is broken to the downside, daily is closed below it, it means weakness, right? You increase your short positions. Again, you increase your short positions. Then another confirmation, you increase your short positions. And strategically like this, you are moving your stop losses lower, plus increasing the risk without actually risking that much more of the capital. It's also called pyramiding, one of the professional trading strategies strategies that we are doing with Paradise Family VIPs, but there are many, right? The real art is that you are able to adapt to the market like water and really choose from that 100 strategies the right one to the current market situation, okay? So this is high time frame analysis. Right now you can see that the $77,000, if we start breaking lower, will also provide a great support. And question, do we have enough fuel to really fuel this move lower? Like, if the market makers start to push the price lower, can they actually make money on this downward movement? Let's take a look. So for that we can analyze the funding rates, right? You can see that the funding rates are obviously extremely positive. That means we have loads of long, over leveraged long positions opened right now in the market, and once the market makers start to push a little bit lower, it will trigger the liquidation levels of long positions, and once the long position is liquidated, it automatically creates a short position, right? And it basically creates this kind of cascade, or it's also called a long squeeze, right? So they can just push a little bit, and because we are watching the behind the scenes, we also know there is not much bids below us, all right? So it's not gonna be that hard to push it lower. So once it's pushed lower, it can create a nice like domino effect, and it will start to push the price lower. So yes, there is money to be made for the market makers, so it is not a bad idea to do it, because also you know that there is so many over-leveraged long positions right now. So that's just increasing the probabilities, you know, and because we are professional traders, we are just watching the indications, the probabilities, the kind of confluences, and based on that make a trading decisions, okay? So we are just putting puzzles together, and once we have like a great puzzle almost solved, we go for it, okay? We create some risk management block, we create some tactic, and we go for it, and we execute the trading idea we have, right? So that answers the question. Yes, we do have the fuel right now to go towards that $77,000. Now let's take a look at ultra high time frame, okay? Another probability is that this is the end of the Elliott wave theory, right, movement, and we are about to create a corrective ABC pattern. As you know, it works like this: 1 2 3 4 5s, right? So that's the A B C D E. We are right now at the E. So if this is the end of the V, we are about to create an ABC lower. So how low can this go? Okay, so firstly we understand we will have some nice support at $77,000. So that's right about here, right? So this might work like a nice A wave. Then we will create a B wave, probably retesting this resistance right here at around $85,000, and then we can go as low as $44,000, because this is one of the strongest 0.618 Fibonacci retracement levels, and the retracement will be for around 55%. So why am I talking about $44,000? Why am I talking about 55% retracement is actually normal? Let's take a look at what happened in 2021, okay? This is exactly the same thing. You need to understand the crypto market the same way the traditional markets, they are repeating in fractal wave structure, okay? What happened in the past will happen in the future. There will be some kind of fluctuations. It will not be 100% perfect copy of what happened in the past, but it will be with some kind of similarity. So what happened in 2021? Since 2020 we also had this kind of 5 moves to the upside, this Elliott wave, right? So let me show you. A, B, C, D, E, right? So that's basically what we are at right now. A, B, C, D, E, right? So what happened afterwards? We had this ABC corrective movement, right? If you are in our MCP free school, you already know about this Elliott wave structure, and you are absolute master, and you are a better trader because of that, right? So once we have finished that 5 moves to the upside, we most of the times have ABC corrective movement, right? So what happened in 2021 is exactly that. We had this A, B, C corrective movement down to previous 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level, and voila, how much percentage it was? 55%. From the top to the bottom 55%. So that's why it's highly probable that it will repeat, right? So 55% retracement is nothing crazy. It's actually happening in crypto very often, and it can happen again. But this is just one idea why it could happen. Another one is going to be a little bit more interesting for you probably, and it's by taking a look at the Bitcoin and gold correlation, okay? So we need to understand the gold is much less volatile than Bitcoin. So for that we need to use a calculator. I will use the calculator in a minute. Firstly, let's take a look at this falling wedge pattern. So this is the falling wedge pattern Bitcoin created as well, and that's also from where the nice movement to the upside started, right? Right like gold. So how much percentage the gold made from the bottom of this falling wedge pattern to the top? So it's exactly 7.28%, okay? So I will put it in the calculator, 7.28%. But firstly, we need to understand how much percentage Bitcoin made, and it's exactly 48%, okay? So right now, let's divide that 48% by 7, and based on that, we can get a rough idea of the volatility, right? So let's do 48 divided by 7.28, and we got 6.5, okay? So remember 6.5, and then let's have a look how much percentage the gold retraced by before having this V reversal pattern. And as you can see, it's something around 9%. So right now, let's take that 6.5 times 9%, okay? And it's 59%. So we can understand that because the same movement the Bitcoin had to the upside as gold, right? And the price action was very similar, just the volatility was different, right? So take a look at, I have been explaining it to you in the previous video, just very quickly. Take a look, like the levels are working perfectly. We had this after the short rally, we had this first drop, then the second drop higher. Both of the assets reacted very similarly, and then we had this slow grind to the upside, right? So slow grind to the upside on Bitcoin as well, as you can see right here. On gold it was so right here, and then we also crossed below this orange trend line, moving average orange trend line with a nice volume that's also happening to Bitcoin right now, and then we stayed below it and the bear structure continued, right? So unless we can with Bitcoin reclaim this moving average, we will also continue with the same price action. So that 59%, or how much was it exactly? Yeah, 59% will actually help us to understand, okay, that's maybe the percentage the Bitcoin will retrace by, right? So let's take the calculation tool from the top towards 59%. Let's have a look where we are. 59%, approximately $41,000. So it's very close to $44,000, and because we understand how strong of a support we have at $44,000, I believe we can stop there, okay? So if the Bitcoin really start to drop below that $77,000, the $44,000 is probable, and right now there is another indication from the Bitcoin gold correlation, right? So it might happen the way that we will go A, B, C, and the C, the corrective Elliott wave pattern, will finish at $44,000. Ladies and gentlemen, the thing is that even though we will be dropping, we can still make a great profit, and the alt season doesn't mean it stopped, and I will show you why. Because if I put on the chart others dominance, which is the index of basically altcoins other than the top 10, right? So the mid and low cap coins, you can see what happened in 2021, okay? If I zoom in a little bit, if it's going to be possible, you can actually see that once we started to drop on Bitcoin, the others dominance actually peaked, okay? So we, even though the Bitcoin started to drop, we had an alt season, and in 2021 we have been making very nice profits with Paradise Family VIPs, even though the Bitcoin been decreasing, because we have been basically just very nicely accumulating the altcoins, selling them at the top, and then buying it again at the bottom, selling on tops. And as you can see, the Bitcoin was very volatile to the downside. All right, so it was great to cover long altcoins exposure with a short Bitcoin, but the altcoins market was very nicely just slowly grinding lower, right? And most of the altcoins actually outperformed the Bitcoin price action heavily. And then of course, after we finished this ABC, a grind up started again. And you know that I believe that after we are done with this ABC corrective pattern, if it's going to finish at $44,000 or not, we are having a nice movement towards $240,000, as I've already explained in the previous video. So ladies and gentlemen, I will definitely keep you updated. It doesn't need to happen, right? I'm just talking about the probabilities that right now the probabilities are that we might start dropping to $77,000 after further confirmation. Then we might have a correction, pullback as a B wave, and then we might drop towards $44,000. But we need to watch the price action very closely in order to make sure that this idea is still on track in 1 week, in 2 weeks, etc. But it's always great to be prepared for the worst case scenario, which we are, and that's how we are able to be profitable for 8 years straight with Paradise Family VIP. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed this video, if you are getting value, please smash the like button, subscribe, and I will see you again on Thursday. Cheers.